action in the historic Silicosis case is expected in the High Court in Johannesburg today. 56 former miners want the court to allow them to institute a class action claim for damages against mining companies for occupational diseases. Up to 200,000 current and former gold miners may join the class action should the court find in favour of the applicants. NGO Section 27 has helped bring the court application. For more on this judgment, we cross live to our reporter in Johannesburg, Mangoba Mkuno. Mangoba, good morning to you. Any indication what time a judgment will be delivered?
Well, Palisa, we're expecting judgment to be heard at 9 this morning, and certainly what we're expecting from the court is for the court to make a ruling on whether this matter can be certified as a class action, and what this essentially means is whether or not this matter can proceed to be heard as a single or collective suit instead of individual claims made by the miners. Now, this will stand to benefit hundreds of thousands of miners, as we've pointed out, as it could open those doors for them, former miners who have worked in the mines, to also be part of this collective suit against the mining industry and to bring about their individual cases to sue the gold mining industries for exposing them to this deadly disease, silicosis. Now, just to give you a bit of background on silicosis, silicosis is a disease that is caused by exposure to silica dust, and this silica dust is the dust that is formed during the mining process, during the rock drilling process underground. And what the miners are saying is that the mining companies allowed them to go underground for many years, knowing very well of the risks that were involved in the mining process, knowing very well that they could be exposed to silicosis, and they're saying that this is therefore gross negligence on the part of the employers. We know that silicosis is a disease that scars the lungs, and eventually it leads to a slow but imminent death, and therefore these miners are now seeking redress from the mining industry. And Balisa, the whole mining industry has been hauled before the courts by these 56 miners. So in fact, we're expecting this case to be one of the biggest civil suits that this country has ever seen.
How long has the entire court process taken to reach this point?
Well, Palisa, this matter stems from a landmark ruling that was made by the Constitutional Court back in 2011. The Constitutional Court ruled that miners could bring about civil claims for compensation against their employers for occupational diseases that they contracted while working in the mines. Now, this was a case that was brought by one of the former miners who was suffering from silicosis, Mr. Tembekile Mankanyi from the Eastern Cape, who basically took Ashanti gold mines to court in 2011 seeking compensation. Now, Mr. Mankanyi was suffering from silicosis at the time, and he brought this matter to court arguing that he should be compensated for being sick, basically because once you are sick from silicosis, you cannot work, you cannot provide for your family, and therefore he felt that he should be compensated for this. He took the matter to the Constitutional Court, and eventually the Constitutional Court agreed with him and ruled that in fact that should be the case. But Mr. Mankanyi unfortunately died a week before this judgment was made, and therefore his widow has never since been compensated for his death and for him contracting this deadly disease. And so therefore this matter now was brought again back in front of the courts to say that perhaps we should relook this issue. The miners need to be compensated as well as their families of those who have already died should be also compensated. And so this is what brings this particular litigation about here in court.
Well, thank you very much to our reporter there, Mangoba Mkuno from Johannesburg. On to some Parliament news now.